Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today is my witchy review, and I'm reviewing the movie Soul. It's streaming currently on Disney Plus. Okay, I'm hopefully I don't give a lot of spoilers away if you haven't seen it, because I would, if you have not seen it, hopefully this review will, make you want to kind of check it out. Um, Heads up, I think the movie was really good. I don't enjoy the thing that Disney seems to have a habit of doing when it comes to movies that star a someone black, where they basically are never themselves, like in their body for majority of the movie. From beginning to end, they're always transforming into something else. Just think Princess and the Frog with Tiana, Princess Tiana. She was, a lot of the time she was a frog in the movie, but um, if we could just, I don't want to say move past that, but like just set that aside for just a moment and just kind of watch what are you trying to tell me, and watch the movie. My takeaways from the movie, again, I'm not trying to give too much away. My takeaway from Soul is kind of the things that I imagined, the great beyond, the afterlife, so to be, is how obviously some other people imagine it as well. Because when I saw what they call the great beyond, that is literally what I see in my mind. I have pretty much imagined it that way for some time, and then a place, a construct, if you will, in the universe where souls are there waiting to be born on this planet. I know that I've been told this story. It's like, when babies are born, their souls already exist. Or not born. Well, I guess it depends on when you consider, the soul being in the baby, when they're born, or, and immediately, we can argue that. That might be an interesting video, by the way, to talk about that. But I've always was told this story about a soul waiting to be born, basically, And clearly, the writers who did this movie clearly was on the same path, and I'm sure a lot of us were. By the way, if you guys know where that comes from, as far as the babies, the souls waiting, to come to Earth as soon as a new life comes on the planet, basically someone becomes pregnant. Please let me know. I'm very curious. I know this, but I don't know where I heard it, who told me, but I've known it for a long time. Outside of that, that's something I was like, wow, the collective thought, that, hey, the things that I see, the things that I believe and I think about, clearly it's on a bigger scale, and a lot of other people think like that. And I don't know, that was a cool feeling when I was watching the movie. Now, I also think the movie taught, at least my takeaway, was that purpose, life purpose, and your spark. What's the baby soul? We're gonna call it the baby soul, that doesn't have a body yet, waiting to come. And there's a whole thing about that. So I'm, again, not giving spoilers away, but the baby soul. What was getting the baby soul caught up was this idea of not having their spark, not finding this thing to make them, ready to go to Earth and be born, ready to, go into a body. And I think about all the people, and then there was a section or a part of the movie where they talk about the lost souls. So people had been born, they had been living, but they became either singularly focused, which was foreshadowing for the main character, Joe Gardner, who was a jazz musician, who actually a teacher, but he wanted to pursue a career as a jazz musician, and things weren't quite working out, in his life. He was middle-aged at this point, and he had this aspiration, and he thought everything would change as soon as he was on. And that makes me think of the wannabe rappers, and I don't say that to be funny, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Those who want to, especially in the entertainment industry, and they feel like once they're on, everything will fit. He says that in the movie, everything will be better. Everything, somehow everything works out. And it's not even just about money or fame for some people. If you really listen to them, and I'm just broadening this topic a little bit more, for some people, I see that they really think this concept, this idea, when it's realized, it changes their whole life. And for some reason, the things that they have been dealing with, the people in their lives, all that, somehow those dynamics change miraculously because they did this other thing. Now, as someone who's lived a little bit, no, it don't work that way. I know when women become mothers, for instance. Oh, your life is going to change. I was told that. Your life is going to change. It'll never be the same. Well, here's the thing about motherhood. If you become a mother, yes, there's going to be changes in your life. But as I never became a mother, I was still going to come across changes in my life. I mean, no one can tell me differently. I mean, if you lose a child, it doesn't take away from the experience, and now you're dealing with the loss. That still will change your life. You would have never dealt with it. So the point is, no one can really say for sure what's going to be. But what I can tell you is this. Life, for the way I see it, you know, there is no thing that's going to make everything better. Marriage, realizing your witchcraft and your full power, becoming a mother, you know, getting on as a musician, you know, acting, entertainment, you know, getting that job, moving to Atlanta, wink, wink, y'all know what I'm talking about. It doesn't make everything better and everything's good. And to broaden a bit further, I think this movie comes at a great time because I know a lot of us are manifesting. The new year's beginning, and you want to talk about purpose. Boy, I know a lot of us want to realize our purpose, want to be on that path, or want to actually start acting out what we believe our purpose is, or, you know, whatever the thing is that you're trying to manifest. So whatever aspect, the house, the car, the husband, the wife, the this, the that, the kids, the babies. Those things are wonderful. I'm big on that. It doesn't shield you from anything, though. You got to remember that part. It doesn't shield you from, I don't want to say bad things, but other things from happening. And then a funny thing can happen is as you get older, I'm not saying that the dream you had stops being important. However, those things that you want to manifest, the dream, all of that, other things happen in your life, and it just doesn't take as much priority anymore. I wanted to be, if you had asked me what I wanted to write software. I didn't know what software, I just knew I wanted to write software. And work in IT. And I wanted to live in a very large home in New Jersey, old Victorian house. This was what I saw. I saw myself as more of an auntie, not a mom. And I didn't think I wanted to be married because I, at that point, really didn't trust men very much, because from what I had been shown, they shouldn't be trusted. I thought it was only a matter of time before they abuse, or cheat, or both. And you were left alone to raise a child. So I had very negative ideas. I didn't vocalize a lot of this, but it all fit into my dream. I went to college with this in my mind. I started school in pursuit of this lifestyle. And, you know, you can say, oh, she was naive, she just didn't know. When I did become pregnant with my daughter, and, you know, I knew I wanted her once I was pregnant, so that was a different feeling. And the need, it was definitely a very primal need to protect this little person, even while she was inside of me, and to begin to prepare. Of course, we know that is nesting now, and I didn't know that at the time. And then once she was born, I was like, oh, well, I could just revise this dream now that I had, and I'll just include her. And I really just thought it was that simple. I just include her and just keep going. Um, Another kid, and I got a husband mixed in that too. Their father at the time, so that that changed everything. So then I completely stopped even trying to pursue that dream because it didn't make sense to me anymore. Writing software, IT, I didn't even want to do that. And I started getting more into wanting to write because I realized I'd always liked to do that. So when I went back to school again, because I didn't finish the first go, I majored in English. So everything changed. I was changing. I was evolving. So much was happening to me. And it's not that that first dream, like I said, wasn't important. And I was very focused on it. I bring it up because that character, I was focused on living that life. I thought that was my purpose, and it excited me even thinking about it. But so many other things happened. And that movie kind of put me back in that space and made me really think about that. And I'm in a very reflective mode right now. I'm kind of, looking over things. And, it definitely made me a little emotional because not out of sadness or loss, but more out of like, wow, look how far you've come. You know, there was a part in the movie where Joe Gardner, he saw basically snapshots of his life, and he thought he was living a life without purpose, and it was basically boring and nothing really going on. And then he had an opportunity to see life again, later in the movie, his life again, and he saw a different lens. And I think that's what it made me think about my life in a different lens right now. I don't regret anything. I don't. I don't regret not having children because my kids, I love them so much. I don't want to think of them not existing. Writing software, I don't really care anymore. I'd rather write stories and things like that. That movie just really touched it. And trust me, the movie's so much more than what I'm talking about. But that pulled at my heartstrings when I saw that. It definitely triggered these past thoughts and emotions and things like that. I think the movie is great. Anything that can make any piece of art, to be honest with you, whether it's a movie or if I'm looking at an imagery of some sort, or whatever, or something I've read, when it takes me into the character and then I can expand on my own life, that's good. And let me tell you, this little Disney movie did that for me. It doesn't go too deep where you feel like it's sad or anything like that. It's not like Coco. And if you have not seen Coco, you should watch Coco, because that movie had me and my daughter. So we watched it together, and we sat here and just bawled our eyes out because I was like, what? I didn't know it was like this. That movie, if you want to reconcile death and things like that, watch Coco. And then watch this. They go hand in hand, in my opinion. I thought the movie was excellent as far as the message it was, or the plot, the point, the whole point of the movie, which is the main character basically, he needed to basically come to, for lack of better words, is come to Jesus moment where he was able to reconcile this dream, this passion that he had become so focused on, he wasn't living anymore. He was only pursuing that. This part doesn't apply to me, but I hopefully maybe someone who needs to hear this is watching this video. To those who are chasing the bag, one of the problems with chasing the bag is you become so focused. And I see people advising people, don't worry about having friends. You don't need friends. Just focus, stay on your grind and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, you really think you were brought here and you got to live because you didn't have to live? If you know anything about biology and, the sperm, the egg, and all that, let me tell you something. And there's so many opportunities for you not to have made it. But you made it. And then your gestation period, you made it. Just to chase a bag? I don't even like that. chase a bag. I don't want to chase a bag. I don't want to chase anything. Do I want a life where I'm comfortable? Yes, of course. A lot of us do, right? But I get to define what's comfortable. I mean, I guess if if I'm more ambitious, because some of us are, and it's like, yeah, that's great, but I want this and I want that. You know, I want the yacht, I want the mansion. And listen, I understand that. I wanted to live in a mansion when I was, you know, an old Victorian style mansion. So I completely understand this. But I would begin to question what's that about. There's usually deeper meanings behind that, but you know, that's not what I wanted to get into now. But what I will say is this. It was a good movie. It was thought-provoking. It elicited emotion. It made me feel something. And I think it's something you should watch. They talk a little bit. It was just someone had told me, oh, they talk about chakras in there. It was one scene, one line. Don't get too excited about that part. But just the idea of thinking of what it means to die and to be born and all that and those concepts, I think that's interesting, and you should watch it for that. Especially if you're watching me, you're probably into the woo-woo, so you'll probably get a kick out of that, if for nothing else. But that's pretty much it. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie. So watch it. This is Mika, Leap Taken. Please like, subscribe, share. And if you've already subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.